Hi there guys, so I am going to do another video which feel it's necessary to do on abuse of power using spirituality. I already touched on it a bit. The two people I mentioned before, Vancouver Island, one's in downtown Victoria, one's in Souk, BC. Both used to work in real estate in Souk. One rhymes with release, and the other one is estate, rhymes with Ucky. Let's see where to go from here. Astral projection was one of the first abuses of power. I think someone trying to project their consciousness into a space or even out onto a property or something like that, and trying to threaten and intimidate. So almost imagine like full clear as day, like holographic almost version of the person standing there. So in this case, I'd actually met the one person, I don't know, I'm going to say twice. Last time I saw him, he was pretty much dark as shit, wearing a Moldavite ring, leather strap around his wrist, about 6'3" at a health show, unfortunately. And between him and that other woman, who's red hair, 5'6", but there, literally astral projected and were trying to get me to hurt myself. Before this, quite literally, like telling me to cut myself with a knife, tried to get me to do things to hurt myself various ways, tried to literally go at me and keep me up for a couple of days. This is some of the stuff that happened that led to some of the other stuff I discussed. Let's see, the short one there, it turns out had abused exes with witchcraft in the past. She got molested by her dad and I guess suppressed it and turned that anger outward. Was a total narcissist. Literally, like I mentioned in another video there, 10-15 minutes of knowing her talk about blowing up her marriage. Didn't give a shit. Laughed, like no, like zippo remorse. Like just a total user between the two of them. The guy within, I don't know, 15 minutes of being around him, he was talking about taking from people. She was talking about cheating people out of land. It just, seeing two fake, it was two false people. Not even like people. The amount of layers and masks that just weren't even anything beneath it. No real substance. It was like the one guy trying to constantly misdirect. And I remember when, I'm not going to mention the person there around it, but I remember standing back just observing, being like, what are you doing around this person? He's constantly trying to keep people from knowing who he really is. Doesn't that disturb you in some way? And I picked up on the off vibe. When I'm not tuning into that, something's really off there. And with her, when I met her, it was to do energy work. And dark as shit, head to toe. And I kind of looked and I was horrified with that. I mean, sure, like, you better affirm the light before I even remotely touch you. And it wasn't until later, leaving Vancouver Island, BC there, that it all started to come out in the wash, the past, about things like, oh my god, somebody being into, like, torturing exes with energy, or the stuff the guy used to try, I'm just going to try to do to women. And it just, the stuff that I saw, what frustrated me more is knowing when something's very off about people, and then when you start to see it. I had the name projected on my phone. Literally, the guy's name started going up on my phone. He was trying to do that, trying to cause fear and bullshit. Came up on the dash of my car, like to a T, the person's name. Let's see. Tried to mess with dreams. Tried to do feeling stuff about being cut, burned, all this sort of stuff. One of my teachers I am going to have on here, she can confirm a whole bunch of this. She picked up on a bunch of that. I had quite a few, multiple people, including a pastor, including a whole whack of people picked up on a whole lot of this stuff. Names included. Yeah, I mean, absolute, unbelievable abuse of power. And this is, I don't intend on this entire channel to be like this, but I absolutely have had enough of some of the stuff like I described the other day about the Neville Goddard and some of that sort of thing, where just absolute abuse of power. I mean, this woman literally knew some body talk and some tantra, and she was using black tantra to be abusive and try to abuse with black tantra. So imagine somebody trying to stimulate you sexually and trying to, almost like a succubus, okay? Meanwhile, she's got a husband and a little kid behaving this way. What else? Using body talk, but instead of using it to heal, trying to do it to mess with somebody, to hurt. I might have somebody on, actually, so we can talk about body talk, because I think people might want to know a little more about that one. Isn't something I delved too deeply into, but maybe we can talk about it a little bit. So, because that guy didn't know much about energy at all, maybe little tiny bit of stuff with the Moldavite ring and little bits of witchcraft here and there. Calling on ancestors, trying to call on dark energies, dark beings, and things like this. And I mean, just absolute. It doesn't get any more abusive with power than that, with energy. And this is the thing, like I tried to almost, it's one of those things like all along I was keeping in mind of like, do they realize they've put it out? It's coming back. And that's what I couldn't understand, like that you would go that far to abuse power without realizing the rules of how this universe works is very short-sighted. It's very reckless, and it's kind of just, wow. I mean, unbelievable, actually. I can't believe. So yeah, I mean, I do feel that is important for, quite literally, it's therapeutic to talk about, because the amount of stuff it was literally a year and a half. Imagine having psychic threats, crap like that, stuff trying to mess with you sexually at different times. I am really serious, and like that same girl tried to put a parasite on me, tried to, it goes on, like I could rattle off a list, like, and it turns out, like, to chop it up, it's a narcissist. So it's not even like a real person you're dealing, that sounds bad, that you're dealing with. You're dealing with somebody who is a false, fake front. Not even a real person. Pretending, walking around like, is this what a real person acts like? That much of a narcissist. Like, textbook narcissist. I'm an empath. Like, polar opposite. Polar opposite. I got into energy to help, to heal myself, and when I was doing it on others, helping heal others. This is literally people getting in to try and control, manipulate, and abuse. Within 20 minutes of being around that guy, he was bashing Wayne Dyer and Deepak Chopra, trying to talk smack about them. And all I'm thinking is, what have you done to contribute? Have you done anything? Have you written books to help millions of people? You know what I mean? Like, just disgusted. Really disgusted that there's people out there that would do stuff like that. And then she goes and gets one of her light worker friends to try and do binds to my leg out in Ontario, Canada. And literally, I probably told her some bull story without hearing what was happening over here. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. And then hides behind her husband and her, who knows who else, in her little cubby hole out in Souk. And I've had enough, and people like this, sorry, but if you're going to pull that crap, it's going to get talked about, and it's going to get talked out in the wide open, and that's what I'm doing right now. And I'm going to really voice this on this channel. Like, you're going to pull that, I'm going to talk about that. I have no issue. If that's in my life, sorry, you lost any right to having any sort of privacy with that. You're going to treat people like that? That's not going to fly. So, literally, I think I might have a body talk teacher on. She can discuss it. Body talk. It's kind of like using menu systems and stuff for energy. So, yeah, this person was trying to abuse what little energy she knew. So, she was trying to abuse Tantra, do all sorts of sexual stuff, try to do sexual links, try to do messed up stuff, so it felt like you were being depleted by family members, or really stimulate you sexually, and then trying to flash maybe a disturbing image or some sort of thing. And like, imagine that, like you wake up and then that started happening, like to your leg or crap like that, or like this is already over and done with, that sort of stuff. But seriously, I mean, it was to the point of like, this is ridiculous. I met an incredible pastor, and I remember sitting there with him and his wife, and there's a couple other people, and even more people around, and they had experience with this stuff, and they were picking up with this stuff, and it just blows my mind that people would even think to be doing that with energy, especially without a foundational knowledge of, do you not think that's going to come back? Do you not realize that? Like, do you really, and then still continuously try to do that for I don't know how long, thinking that's going to get you out of it? Oh my God, you dug such a hole. It is unbelievable. Like, I started to talk a bit. I'll just tell you a little. There was a girl, I won't tell you everything that happened, but she really abused power. And at the time, I pretty much swooped in and tried to take care of her. I didn't know exactly. And she only talked a little bit. But she was having a lot of stuff going on. And I was kind of going, oh my God, like, you okay, you okay? And she did bounce back. But I got to see firsthand what had happened. And it was pretty horrifying. And I mean, the fact that this stuff had happened, and it was something that I've seen firsthand, it needs to be talked about. That I agree with people like Gigi Young that it isn't all sunshine and rainbows, and I will probably have one of my Reiki teachers on here. Reiki is amazing, getting into spirituality. This is a beautiful thing for sure. But there is, I guess, some people out there who have that in mind. Maybe they're a hurt, wounded child. They're a narcissist. Maybe they're a psychopath, psychopathic tendencies. That guy had psychopathic tendencies for sure. She was definitely a narcissist. And I mean, just not even thinking about cause and effect. Cause and effect. And I did that in another video. You go and you pull that with somebody, what do you think is going to happen? I just don't get it. So yeah, astral projecting, that's a real, that's just the tip of the iceberg with those two, but I think I'll leave it there. I don't think they deserve much time at all. They don't deserve much of anything. Don't deserve my time or your time. So, I think I'll end it there, but I don't know if I really want to get into astral projection too much, but that was kind of a gist of, projecting one's consciousness that way. Like complete, utter abuse. So it's picture it like a cycle, like this: abuse of power, like arrows. It's dished out, it comes back. Dished out, it comes back. Dished out, it comes back. So it's not, it's not getting away with anything. That's the part I can laugh about now. So, comment questions down below. All right, let me know what you think. Take care.